their hijabs as if freedom could only exist once faith was taken off. The audience applauded because in today's world, mocking Islam is often mistaken for courage. But far away from the lights, inside cold prison walls, a former prison officer was telling a very different story.
Most people in this world put Muslims in the same box. The reason why people feel like this is because of the media.
I didn't think anyone could walk into a mosque, especially of another religion, and the Imam welcomed him with open arms and was respectful.
Now I'm getting punched in the face, I'm getting grabbed from behind. There's 3 or 4 on one now. The Muslim boys see this, and what they did was step in front of me to the other prisoners, the 4 prisoners that was on me, and said, back off, it's 4 against 1. That's not right, that's not fair. Now go away, it's done. And I was grateful.
He wasn't an imam, not a preacher. He doesn't even believe in religion himself. But after years working inside prisons, places built on violence, humiliation, and broken men, he kept witnessing this same strange pattern: kindness from Muslims. While the media painted Islam as something to fear, he saw loyalty, respect, brotherhood. Not in documentaries, not in headlines, but in real life. From mosques to prison corridors stained with chaos, his experiences slowly shattered everything he thought he knew about Islam. And maybe this story will do the same for others.
Hello everyone, I'm JT, and today I want to talk about the Muslim people. Now, I have a good few Muslim friends, and they would do absolutely anything for anyone, okay? They're kind, generous, polite, caring, thoughtful, and like I said, they would do anything for you. And I think it's really unfair that most people in this world put Muslims in the same box, okay? It's quite frustrating, it's quite upsetting, it's unfair, and I can't imagine how other Muslims feel about this. Now, the reason why people feel like this and think like this about Muslims is because of the media. The media seem to push the narrative that all Muslims are bad. You know, anything negative on the news, they say, oh, it's a Muslim guy or it's a Muslim woman and this and that. And it's just, it is unfair. Now, this is coming from a non-religious guy. And what I'm going to say is just be open-minded, think before you judge. You know, it affects people. And there we go. Not all Muslims are the same, no matter what race, gender, culture or religion. There's good and bad all over the world.
My friend told me today, he said, you do know that anyone can walk into a mosque? I said, can they? He said, yeah. I said, oh, I didn't know that. He said, yeah, as long as you take your shoes off, you're dressed appropriately and you're very respectful. I said, oh, okay, yeah, I get that. He said, you can observe the prayer or you can join in the prayer. And I said, that's amazing. Like, people can walk in and just observe and join in as well. He said, yeah. He said, didn't you hear that story about the Jewish man? I don't know. When he's telling me this, I don't know if it's been in the news, it's, you know, public knowledge, or it happened in his mosque, okay? But he told me a story, and the story is this. A Jewish man walked into a mosque and he took his shoes off and he was very respectful, and he walked over to the Imam and he said, can I please pray in your mosque for the reason that my synagogue got burnt down and I'd like to pray, you know, in basically a house of God? And the Imam said, yeah, of course you can. That's totally fine. And he created a space for him, a peaceful space where no one could disturb him. And the Jewish man prayed. And that, for me, was like heartwarming, okay? Because I'm not a religious person, it's nice, and I don't know much about religion, but it's nice to know that religions can come together and help each other out, despite if they disagree on certain things. And that to me was just amazing. Okay, now my point is in this story, and I'll always repeat myself and I'll always emphasise what I'm saying, you can't put everyone in the same box, okay? Learn before you judge, because I didn't know that. I didn't think anyone could walk into a mosque, especially of another religion. And the Imam welcomed him with open arms and was respectful. They were both respectful, and I just thought, wow, that's amazing. So don't judge, don't put everyone in the same box.
And that story about tolerance reminded him of something he could never forget. A prison riot. 4 inmates attacking him at once. Chaos closing in from every direction. And just when things were about to spiral, a group of Muslim prisoners stepped forward. Not to join the violence, not to take advantage of the moment, but to stand between him and the men trying to hurt him. In a place where brutality was normal, they chose protection instead.
And today I want to discuss and tell you guys a story regarding Muslim prisoners protecting an officer. Now this officer was me, okay, and I'll never forget it. So I'll cut a long story short. I was in the office doing paperwork. There were 2 prison officers on the wing, on one side of the wing, okay? It was association, 100 prisoners were out on the wing. Now, one of the prison officers ran in and said, we need your help, right? It's all kicking off on that side of the wing. I put my paperwork to one side, I ran on with him, and he was helping restrain a prisoner on the floor. So there's 2 prison officers on the floor restraining a prisoner. I've locked the doors behind me, and all the prisoners, they're on association, all the prisoners were getting closer to these 2 officers on the floor to a point where they were kicking them and spitting on them, right? Now that's disgusting, it's not on. So I put my camera on, I shouted at them, I ushered them away, get back, you're on camera. But they didn't like this, okay? They're already riled up. Now I'm getting punched in the face, I'm getting grabbed from behind. There's 3 or 4 on one now. Now, if any officer says they're never scared in a situation, they're lying. I was scared, yeah? I didn't know what they had in their pockets or their hands or what their plan was. I'm fighting for my life. I'm throwing hands, I'm headbutting, I'm trying to get into space. It was a scary situation. Now, the Muslim boys see this, and what they did was step in front of me to the other prisoners, the 4 prisoners that was on me, and said, back off, it's 4 against 1. That's not right, that's not fair. You've had your fun, now go away, it's done. And I was grateful, I was thankful, and I was relieved. Believe me, my heart was pumping, okay? Now, the next day, the Muslim boys come up to me. After everyone was locked away, that incident, the Muslim boys come up to me the next day. And they said, all right, Gov, how you doing, how you feeling? If you get any more trouble from them, let us know and we'll sort them out. And that, I appreciated that a lot. Now, I didn't go forward with that because number 1, that's not professional, and number 2, I don't want it to go any further and get them into trouble, etc, etc. It's done, it's over, right? But I was thankful and I appreciated what they'd done for me, yes, the day before, and then that day they come up to me to see if I was all right. Now I love that, that's respect.
From these stories, one thing becomes clear. While the world debates and fears Islam, a non-religious man kept seeing something different. Inside prisons and violent moments, he saw Muslims step in to protect, not attack. Beyond the stigma, he saw respect, loyalty, and humanity. Not everything is perfect, but reality is never as simple as it looks. And sometimes, truth comes from lived experience, not opinion.